that coming up in a bit. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. Right, moving on to our exclusive actually of the week, and that's that Dacre Montgomery, the star of Stranger Things and Power Rangers, is in talks to play the Human Torch in the MCU's Fantastic Four film. So we've been talking about Fantastic Four for quite a while now. It was then confirmed that at Disney's Investors Day presentation by Kevin Feige that it was happening, that they'd already confirmed that before, but that Jon Watts was going to be directing. So that was the big news, that Spider-Man's Jon Watts is going to be jumping on over to Fantastic Four, putting kind of more emphasis on our scoop that Spider-Man 4 will be directed by Sam Raimi. I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. But now, as far as my sources are concerned, Dacre Montgomery, who's an Australian actor, I think half Australian, half Canadian, most famous for being in Stranger Things, but before that he was also very, very good in Power Rangers. He played the Red Ranger in Power Rangers, Jason Scott. He was the villain in Stranger Things Season 2, and he was brilliant in that. But I'll just put up the quotes that I received from a number of sources. So here's the first one. Marvel Studios is ramping up things with Jon Watts' Fantastic Four movie. They're looking at a bunch of actors for the role of Johnny Storm, yet Stranger Things' Dacre Montgomery seems to be leading the pack. He's currently in talks with Marvel bosses as we speak for the role. Then a second source came on to say that Dacre Montgomery is in talks for the role of Johnny Storm in the MCU's Fantastic Four picture. He was considered for Wolverine, but Marvel thinks he'd be perfect for Johnny, and Jon Watts is very keen on casting the actor for the role. So this is something that I think that was it. So I was told by two sources the same information basically, but then the second source kind of offered a bit more information about what's actually going on and who's actually really keen on this. And it looks like Jon Watts is the one that really thinks he'd be great for the role. There were rumors that he was up for Wolverine, but they were just rumors at the time. But this source seems to be basically, he told me that actually that he was up for or being thought of for the role of Wolverine. He would have made quite a good Wolverine as well. Another Australian actor playing the role seems to be quite interesting. But no, it seems as though they're more keen on getting things going for Fantastic Four. And Dacre Montgomery is kind of the right age. I think he looks the part. If you go back to another scoop of ours that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are in talks for the roles of Reed Richards and Susan Storm, you can really see Emily Blunt and Dacre Montgomery being brother and sister, really, that they have the right look, and I just can see it working on screen. And it's something that they really need to get right. Fantastic Four is a really vital film for Marvel, I believe, and I think the further down the line we go into these new MCU phases, the more important they'll become. The more important Reed Richards will become, Susan Storm, Johnny Storm, and of course the Thing as well. I haven't heard anything about the Thing. I'm asking around about that, about casting news for that, but I haven't heard anything as of yet. I haven't heard anything from any other outlets either. I haven't read anything reported. But this, again, I will say that this has also been quite popularly casted. If that's a word. People have been fan casting this. The idea of Dacre Montgomery playing the Human Torch. The thing with that is I'm always a bit cautious about that sort of thing. I know it's worked in the past, especially more with Star Wars stuff, but it seems as though, as far as Fantastic Four is concerned, the fans have kind of been spot on. The fans have been saying, look, the people that need to play these roles, it's obvious. It's obvious that John Krasinski should be playing Reed Richards. It's obvious that Emily Blunt should be playing Susan Storm, and it's obvious there have been two kind of really actors that have really been fan casted, if that's the word again, in the role of Johnny Storm, and that's been Zac Efron and Dacre Montgomery. I actually think both would be pretty good for the role, but as far as my sources are concerned, it's Dacre Montgomery. So this is something that, again, I am very, very excited about this movie because I'm a big Fantastic Four fan. I used to love the cartoons growing up. I was really more into like the cartoons growing up, and then I got into there are some great comic book runs of the Fantastic Four, and they've never got it right on screen. Never. We had like the original, well, not the first. There was that awful Fantastic Four film that was basically made, I can't remember what it was, but it was made just so they could keep the rights, and it was awful. It was deliberately bad. Then there were the Fantastic Four films with Jessica Alba, which were really, really bad. Like, I thought they were terrible, those movies. And then we had the Josh Trank Fantastic Four film, or Fanforstic as people like to call it, which is just, again, terrible. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say it is. Personally, I thought it was bad, but I actually think the Fantastic Four films before those ones were worse, because they were like very, very kind of late 90s, early 2000s comic book movies, and they were just bad, those movies. Whereas I could kind of see that they're obviously, Josh Trank obviously had some sort of a vision for Fantastic Four, and he really wanted to do it, but I think studio interference in the end, and also he obviously, it's been very well reported that Josh Trank had basically many, many meltdowns on set. I personally don't think he was ready to direct a movie that big, and then I think in the end it was Simon Kinberg that just finished the film. And I mean, I like Simon Kinberg. He's obviously a big fan of comic books, but I do not think he's a particularly good director. I think he showed that with X-Men Dark Phoenix, which really wasn't very good. He showed that again with Fanforstic, which really wasn't very good, which was basically directed by him. It was not, Josh Trank made it very public that it was not the movie he wanted to make. I think Josh Trank wanted more of a kind of body gore type movie, which I think would have been really fascinating. There were elements of that in there. He had such a good cast as well. You have like Miles Teller, you have, I'm blanking on all the other names, but I always blank on names, but yeah, you have a really, really good cast in there. Rooney Mara's sister, Kate Mara, was in there as well. Let me just have a look. Fantastic Four. All right. Kate Mara, Miles Teller, Michael B. Jordan, of course. How could I forget Michael B. Jordan? Jamie Bell and Toby Kebbell. That's already Tim Blake Nelson, who, of course, was in The Incredible Hulk as well. So just a really, really good cast. And it's just such a shame that they weren't able to get it right, because there was so much potential there. And, I loved Chronicle, which was Josh Trank's kind of debut film. I think that was a really, really good movie. I think that starred Dane DeHaan and Michael B. Jordan. But it's like, it's just a bit of a shame, really, that happened. But it looks like they're really kind of trying to set the record straight with Fantastic Four, getting Jon Watts on, who's kind of a proven director. He knows how to direct these big superhero movies. And this will be, I mean, it sounds to me as though Spider-Man 3 is pretty big, but this will be like a step up for not for him, but this will be, I think, bigger, because they really need to get Fantastic Four right. They really need to get the right cast, and I am all behind Dacre Montgomery being cast as the Human Torch. It's what I've been told. I'm really excited about it, and let me know what you guys think about this casting, this potential casting. He's in talks at the moment for the Fantastic Four, for the Human Torch. Let me know in the comments below.